So whenever I travel somewhere, people go like, oh, how can you afford it? I always go, how can you afford rent in LA or wherever? Okay, so I've spent less than $1,000 on my trip to Tokyo. So how I got my ticket was I was searching on Skyscanner. You go you go like the whole month and you say you can go anywhere, right? Or I mean, you go to San Francisco, Tokyo, and then it shows all the different prices and the airlines. And I kept finding that Zip Air was the least expensive. It's a newer airline. It's a subsidiary of Japan Airlines, but it's more basic. And I went for the complete basics. I didn't even get water on the plane, which is fine. If I wanted water, I would have had to buy it with my phone, but I couldn't get internet on my phone. Oh well. So that flight was $356 from San Francisco to Japan. So on the way to the airport, I was told that like when you go to Japan, you have to have an exit ticket also. Besides, they say you can stay for like 3 months, but you still have to have like an exit ticket. Somebody told me about Onward Ticket or something where you buy these like dummy tickets, and I thought about doing that, but I just was afraid it wouldn't work. So I was thinking about different places to go, and on Zip Airlines there was a flight to Manila for about $136. So if you add up both flights, it's about $500. So basically, I bought a flight to Manila a week after. So I've been here a week and I'm going to Manila. I've always been curious about the Philippines. I just want to travel around a lot of places. So, okay. So I got my flight. I was gonna be there a week. So then I was gonna get in at 9 o'clock, somewhere around there, p.m. So I decided to get a place to stay in Narita. How I get my places to stay is I go on agoda.com. I'm sure there's probably other places, but that's what I found is the best deal. I found a hostel that was $16 or $17, okay? And then from there, when I got to that hostel, I booked my next hostel, which was in Tokyo, Akasusa. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but it's a neighborhood that's like in Tokyo, but it's not quite in the downtown. And I got a hostel there for about $25. And then in Shinjuku, I got 2 days of hostel at the Global Hotel that was about 20 something each day. And then I got another one at Ace Hotel that was like 20 something. The most I spent was I went to Kamakura, and it was a Saturday night, so the weekends go up. That was about 30. So I spent anywhere from about $16 to $30 on hostels. So, and tonight I'm not staying anywhere because I have a morning flight, and I just got here. It's nighttime. I'm just gonna hang out. So that's under $200 for lodging. Now, hostels aren't for everybody, and actually, a few years back, I decided I wasn't going to stay at hostels anymore, but that's like in America, you know what I mean? In Japan, the hostels are cleaner, quieter, more efficient. You do run into some issues sometimes. Not everybody is as polite as like the Japanese people. A lot of the people that come in from Western nations aren't always as polite. There was, you know, there was a co-ed bathroom I had, and this girl was taking up this whole section by one of the toilets, and then the other toilet was in use for a long time. So that was annoying. But what can you do? You know, people don't always think about other people, you know. She literally had her big old luggage spread out in front of the toilet, so you couldn't, you know what I mean? It would have been like a pain in the, and I don't want to get in an argument, so I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna like use the restroom in a bathroom, in a restaurant or something. I'm kind of like, I'm not confrontational. I don't want to get into dramas with people, but it kind of like pissed me off a little bit. So anyway, yeah, so I did also spend about $110 on getting my teeth cleaned, because that's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I haven't got my teeth cleaned in a while. And they overcharged me a little bit from what they quoted me to what they charged me. They charged me an extra 500 yen, which isn't that much more, but it was a little disappointing to be quoted something and then charged something different. But that happens sometimes when you're traveling. So food, I think I probably spent about 20 bucks a day on food. A lot of it was these drinks. I got kind of addicted to getting the drinks out of the slot machines, but the drinks aren't that expensive though. Like, they're anywhere from 100 to 210 yen maybe. So 100 yen is like 67 cents. So even a Red Bull is like under $2, you know? So their drinks are really good. So I was buying them a lot because I was walking around a lot. The other thing about me is I try to walk as much as I can. And I was gonna walk to my hostel the first night because I figured get in at 8 or 9, do a nice long walk, then I'll be ready to sleep, right? But I walked about 3.5 miles, and then like Google Maps on my phone wasn't working, and I was trying to figure out where to go, and I was like, I wasn't that far from my destination, but I decided to go back to where this hotel was, and I got a cab. And I definitely paid more than I would have wanted to, but it still wasn't that bad. It was like 2,100 yen, which, you know, is about maybe 13, 14 bucks, you know, which is almost as much as my hostel. But it was hard to find the hostel. Even after the cab guy dropped me off, he kind of pointed where it was. There was no sign of the hostel where I was. I went into a bar and I was like, Sando's hostel? I thought somebody would know where the hostel was because supposedly it was right there in the neighborhood somewhere. And there was no numbers that I could find. And I couldn't read the street signs. Luckily, this really nice girl came out and she like looked it up on her phone. And then she was even having a hard time finding it. She was like kind of looking around, and then she's like, oh, ran down this alley real quick, and then she's like, oh, it's over here. You know, it took like a few minutes for her to find it, and she had her phone and everything. So once I finally got to the hostel, it was probably about midnight, and there was nobody there. But luckily, I was able to get on the Wi-Fi there and email them that I was there so that they could give me the code for the room, because there was a code that I had to have to get into the room. So that's what I mean. I mean, the way I travel isn't for everybody, but, you know, it's kind of adventurous. I kind of met some interesting people. I don't know what my favorite hostel was, because there's different good ones about them all. I liked Global Hostel in Shinjuku, I think. I liked Ace also. Ace has a nice vegetarian restaurant, and the girl that works there is really nice. Her name's Raquel, and she's from Spain, and she's really sweet. So I talked to her for a while. I ordered the lentil meatballs that were really good, and I had a tropical smoothie. There's still a lot I want to see in Tokyo. Like, I feel like I barely scratched the surface. I was mainly around Shinjuku. I went over to Roppongi one day. But most of the time I took most of the money I spent on trains was like this last day, because yesterday I took a train all the way to Kamakura, which is a couple hours away. But that was like $10 or something. But coming back, I wanted to stop in Yokohama, so I stopped in Yokohama. So that was a little bit, and then from Yokohama to Narita, not only did I pay like $1,700, but I was also, when I got there, they said I had to pay another $300 for whatever reason. So it was about $2,000. So $2,000 is like, still not that much. It's like, I don't know, 14, 15 bucks. But if I had taken, but see, if you take the express trains, they're way more. So I didn't do that. Man, Durian Rider's so smart to bring a bike, because if I had my bike, I'd just be biking everywhere. This seems like a really good place to bike. I had thought about bringing my fold-up bike, but I just wasn't sure. I was thinking like, well, if I want to go to a few different countries, so I don't want to be paying for it each time I go somewhere. Maybe I could have brought it with me and then like sold it here or something. But I just didn't really want to deal with that. But I think like if I go somewhere where I stay a little longer term, I might want to get like a bike, you know. So the Philippines are the same kind of thing where you're supposed to have an exit ticket. So I think I'm gonna buy a ticket somewhere. It's weird. I have this feeling like I like to know that I'm on the plane and I'm actually, before I buy my ticket to the next destination. So maybe like actually when I get to Manila, I'll actually buy the ticket for the next destination. But I just always have this fear that like something's gonna go wrong with the flight, and then I'm gonna have this other flight I paid for. I know I'm like extra frugal and careful, but that's just how I am, and I kind of just embrace it. I pray that I kind of like learn to let loose a little more, and eventually not care so much about saving a buck here and there. But I mean, sometimes you just have to, if you work hard for your money, you want to make your money stretch. So it's just frugality, you know. So I guess if you got lots of money, you don't have to travel like me. You can just take a cab everywhere, you know. But I also do feel like you lose something when you just take cabs everywhere. Like, it's good to walk. It's good to even get to know the train system a little bit, although I don't really feel like I know the train system that well around after using it. It's pretty confusing. It's partly not. This is one country where it really behooves you to know the language more, and I really don't know the language very well. But luckily, a lot of people that helped me could understand enough, and sometimes they couldn't, but like a lot of the information booth people do speak pretty good English, and that helped me a lot. So kudos for that, I will say. Anyway, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. I'm trying to do more long-form videos because I know I've kind of gotten addicted to doing the short ones because they're so fun and easy. But anyway, I'll be posting more videos when I get to Philippines. Good night.